Hey guys, it's Marla. Welcome back to Twinstrology. This is the Twin Flame Divine Partnership Energy Report for the Cancer New Moon that's happening on June 23rd. If you'd like a personal reading with me, you can visit my website, which is twinstrology.com. Please follow me on Facebook at Twinstrology for the most up-to-date information. And there are still a few seats left for the Twin Flames Together workshop that I'm doing in Chicago, June 30th, July 1st, and 2nd. It's going to be a weekend-long retreat all about helping you shift your vibrations and getting everybody ready for the eclipses, which are happening in August. And I will put a link to that in the comments if you're interested. All right, so the new moon is happening at 10:31 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it's at 2 degrees, 47 minutes of the sign of Cancer. And kind of the little analogy that I was shown is planting seeds. And, you know, it's summer. We just had the solstice. And what do we do in the summer? We plant our gardens and things. And so this is, and of course at new moons, we plant seeds too of what we want to manifest. So we're continuing to plant these little seeds of what we're bringing into our life. But, you know, when we make a garden, there's things that we have to do. We don't just plant the seed. We have to till the soil. We have to water it. We have to nurture it. We have to make sure that it has food. And we have to clear away the weeds so that the weeds don't choke out the little plants that we're trying to bring through. And so kind of what we're doing over this next little period of time is sort of like pulling the weeds of your garden. And we're trying to get this field, which is your inside, your beliefs, as clear as possible, and your intentions as clear as possible. And most importantly, we are trying to eradicate any fears and doubts that you still have lingering about what your future looks like. All right, so the new moon is, like I said, in Cancer. Cancer rules our 4th house. Now this is the very bottom of our chart. It represents midnight. It's the darkest part of the day, and it's the darkest part of our chart. And this Cancer represents, in the very broad sense, home and family. But the nature of Cancer goes so much deeper than that. Like all the water signs, Cancer holds a little piece of our unconscious mind. Now the sign of Cancer is ruled by the moon. The moon is going to be especially powerful in the sign of Cancer because it's the ruler of that sign. And the moon has to do with our emotions and our subconscious. So if we look at the 4th house and what it represents, it's our very private life, and it represents our foundation, our roots, how we nurture ourselves, our ancestors, not just our birth family, but it represents our soul family, our sacred space, and where it is that we find safety and security. It's our grounding force, you know, and we need to have a strong 4th house to help us with all the other areas of our life. So when I think about roots and foundation, you know, I get a mental image of like a tree and all the roots that are under the ground that we can't see. They're in the dark. This is very much that Cancer energy, and it's represented on this card very well in the stack, the 9 of staves. And you see this stems up here, but underneath the ground, look at the jangled mess of roots. And this is like our subconscious mind. It has this jangled mass of roots within us. This is our deep connection to the past, our childhood, okay, growing up in our family unit, but also going much deeper. Like I said, our soul family and all our previous incarnations. All those memories are stored there. Cancer is in charge of the memories as it's ruled by the moon. Also our DNA and how our parents' belief system was, our parents' beliefs and our ancestral beliefs, and also how those limit us and the fears that they held and that they distilled into you. And all these things get passed along those roots. So when we're talking about Cancer and the moon energy and our emotions, what happens is when we come up against a trigger, the first thing we do is that affects our emotional body. We go straight into emotion. And the way we react is based on a pattern that we're carrying back from these roots, our childhood, our parents, our ancestors, our soul family, our previous incarnations, all affect our patterning. And of course, a big reason that Twin Flames are here is to break free of these ancestral patterns because they're very limiting. And, you know, we want to break free from having our emotions triggered all the time. So we're being offered some new beginning energy here in the 4th house. And we're ever getting closer to the 3rd energy, manifesting our desires. So now what Spirit is guiding us to do is to get going on pulling out some of those weeds so that this manifestation has a nice space for it to grow. So this means getting rid of some of those old patternings. And it all relates to our fears and insecurities. The major thing is lack of faith. And lack of faith right now is, I want to say, detrimental. You know, your manifestation is going to happen, but to the extent that you can clear these things, the quicker it will happen. So many of you can go quite a while now having total faith. But what happens when you're emotionally triggered? Do you immediately go back to your old patterns? Do you immediately go into your emotional body and go back to those old memories, those old memories of rejection and pain and fears, and react instantaneously from all that past baggage? Many of us still do. So, and then that brings up distrust in ourselves, anxiety, indecision, feelings of overwhelm, and all these things, when they come out in us, they attract more and more and more like a magnet. This is why it's important for us now to begin to detach from our emotional body so that our energy can stay at a more level keel. And a lot of times when I talk about detachment, I'm not necessarily talking about abandoning your twin. I'm talking about detaching from the situation so that you can stay balanced, right? Because if you're too attached emotionally, you're going to keep having to face triggers. Or when you do face triggers, you don't handle them very well, and they end up upsetting your energy, you know, maybe for several days, where when you get to a certain level, you might clear that same trigger in an hour. because the further you go here in your ascension process, the quicker you see it. Like when we're first waking up, we're not very conscious. We might not even realize we're getting triggered. Or it might be like 3 days later when we're still angry, it might dawn on us, oh, that was a trigger that was trying to show me something. And you get to a certain place where you immediately recognize, okay, this is triggering me. Well, then you can go, why? And you can start analyzing it from a detached perspective and get a better handle on it and see what it's trying to show you about yourself. So this is all fourth house stuff because this is all coming from inside you. But the more that you can embody your soul, your higher self, the more firmly you are entrenched in your faith and it becomes unshakable. The Sabian symbol for the new moon is an Arctic explorer leads a reindeer through an icy canyon. So this paints a very barren picture, and it's speaking about transversing through this bleak, frozen land. Obviously, this is referring to a test of faith because there's no comfort. When you're going through this frozen land, which some of us might feel like we're going through that right now, there's not a lot of comfort, and there's really not a lot to have faith about. Now, for many of you guys, it's kind of the same for the situation with your union, because you might not be getting any 3D validation or verification that anything's going on. And so this is really the time to have faith. For those of you that have no contact with your twin, this is the hardest for you to continue to have that faith when you look around and you feel like you're in that icy, barren landscape and you're like, what's going on with this? Am I crazy? Is this all an illusion? It's having to come to grips with what is truth, what is illusion, and continuing to have that faith despite what quote unquote reality is showing to you. So we're in an initiation process, and we are continuing to purify our heart and our body and our mind. And how far you are in that purification process is probably going to be a gauge for how this energy is going to affect you. And if you've been doing a lot of purification, or you've been on this journey for a while, hopefully you've purged out a lot of stuff and it won't affect you as much. Where if you're new to this journey, or there's still something that you haven't quite figured out how to unlock that so that you can release it, then you may feel highly pressured at the universe, by the universe right now rather, to change. Because we're getting to where, the stuff is really coming through, guys. Things are really manifesting. Many of you are already seeing things manifest for you. Many of you are seeing your unions manifest. You're seeing your careers manifest, your missions manifest, or the energy is beginning to trickle in. So it's very serious right now. And like I said at the beginning, we have the eclipses coming up. We have the Alliance Gate coming up. It's a serious time to get focused and get focused on yourself. We're going to see in the cards. It's a time, it's kind of like every man for himself. You got to be responsible for yourself and your energy, and the energy that you're not only bringing to your union, but the energy that you're bringing to your life and all the interactions in your life. What is your energy like? I want you guys to start considering that. So all of this is allowing you to break free of all your self-imposed limitations. And this is going to bring you unwavering conviction to service. We need to see ourselves as co-creators. If we don't see ourselves as co-creators, then we're just handing our power over to fate and saying, well, whatever happens, happens. Or, we can get to that very pessimistic place and just think, oh, well, it's up to fate, but fate never deals me a good hand, so I'm going to just give up now. We have to see that we are co-creators. We have source energy. We have divinity within us. Now, this new moon is going to be square to Chiron as well. So this is allowing us on an energetic level to kind of connect with these old aspects of ourselves, as previous incarnations, our childhood, to connect with these deep soul wounds that have these very strong roots in the past, and clear those old karmic patterns away. You clearing that in this incarnation, it's going to have a domino effect. Now, the thing is, when Chiron's involved, Chiron can show you your wounds. If you don't know what your wounds are, or you're trying to turn a blind eye to your wounds, and we have a new moon square to Chiron, you're probably going to see some of your wound, and that might not be comfortable. And that's why a lot of people don't like Chiron. But you've got to witness it in order to heal it. All right, I'm being guided to share with you guys as well over the next few weeks, and ideally you're going to get into the habit of doing this as an ongoing daily practice. But it would be really useful for you to clear your energy twice a day. Call in Saint Germain specifically and use the violet flame, because this is going to assist us all in this clearing process. And you may even want to do this in your house as well, because it is in the sign of Cancer, which rules our home. So, and it's so easy to use. You can do it anywhere. Even if you're going to go to the store, you can send the violet flame through the store before you walk in and kind of clear that energy. And it doesn't take long. Okay, but the violet flame transmutes karma, and it transmutes our fears and doubts. It purifies us, and it helps transmute our memories. And it helps us release guilt, fear, shame, etc. And all of which affects our faith in the universe, and our belief in ourselves. So that's why I'm specifically being told the violet flame, because of the transmutation properties of it. So I know many of you are going to be saying, well, how do I use the violet flame? I posted a few things on my Facebook page before. I'll try to post some new things up, but it's so easy. Like I said, just get into, a quiet state, ask Saint Germain to come in, ask the violet flame to come in to your body, to your house, wherever you need it, and just visualize it in your head. Just see yourself being engulfed in purple flames. Many people want to do some kind of decree with the violet flame. And if you go online, you can find many, many decrees. You can go on YouTube and you can get decrees. I'm just going to read you one that's very simple, that goes along with what I'm talking about. Mighty I am presence, take out of me all doubt and fear, and charge me with thy eternal love, courage, strength, protection, and ever-expanding perfection. Mighty I am presence, take out of me all doubt and fear, and charge me with thy eternal love, courage, strength, protection, and ever-expanding perfection. And I will add this into the comments of this video, so you can write them down if you want to use that as your own decree, as you call in the violet flame. So this is going to help you clear out those old patterns so you can replace that with new patterns. So if you feel so called, please do that at least once a day, hopefully twice a day, and as often as you need it throughout the day. And so we're also still moving through the layers that we need to shed in order to reach a place of complete surrender. Now, at the new moon, we have Mars trine Neptune and square Jupiter. So if you remember back on May 7th, I wrote an article because Mars was at that time trining Jupiter and squaring Neptune as he went through Gemini. So now we have the same planets interacting, but their aspects backwards. We're purging doubts. Sorry, again, I can't read my writing. This happens every week, I know, or every video. Okay, we were purging doubts and releasing anger at the time when Mars was going through Gemini. Okay, this aspect, as we come up at the new moon, can make us feel really directionless. Okay, because Mars in Cancer has difficulty being assertive anyways in that sign. He doesn't really like being in Cancer. And this is intensified by the trine that he's making to Neptune. So we can feel afraid and powerless, but really the purpose of that is to get us to surrender. And it's our human will or ego battling to come to terms with God's will, or if you don't want to look at it as God, you can see it as source energy. Mars is our will, our drive, our desires. And then Jupiter and Neptune have to do with our faith and our beliefs and God, our faith in God. So it's a test of our faith. Can we surrender our ego desires? And I just wanted to say here too, I talked about this a few videos ago when I was talking about the third energy and how powerful it is and how we have to be pure of heart in order to use the third energy. But of course, there's always people that are going to try to use this energy for their own ends. And I really want to stay away from a lot of judgments and things. But if you're trying to cast spells or things like that, and using this third energy to try and manifest your ego desires, this is going to backfire on you, and you're going to be creating a lot of negative karma for yourself. So don't use it in that way. We have to surrender our ego. We have to align our desires with the will of God. So like I was saying, it's easy to have faith until you're triggered. The same way, it's easy to have our will, or it's easy for us to align with God's will as long as we feel that that's in line with our ego will. But once this starts to separate and we start feeling that God's will is abandoning us or taking a different direction, what does that do? Throws us into fear, throws us into our emotional body, throws us into our old patterns. Triggers us, brings up our anxiety. Now all of a sudden we don't have any more faith because our ego will thought it was going to be one way, and God's way is a different way. And this is why we have to surrender because we don't know the best way, and we have to acknowledge that our ego does not know the best way for us to go right now. It's about trusting that everything is always and forever in its perfect unfoldment. Things, if you really are surrendered, then you are in full acceptance of whatever is happening at that very moment. That's what we talk about, being in the now. We don't really judge it. We just accept it for what it is. Trusting that it's the unfoldment of our plan. And it always is. That trust brings peace in our heart. And then when we have that peace, we can weather any storm. And this is when you are perfectly ripe for that plant to suddenly spring up, and there's your manifestation. And then the other piece that I'm getting for this is about receiving, and that now it's time to go with the flow. For most people, for most twins, very little or no action is really required of you right now, other than if a door opens, walk through it. To try and push is going to go against the natural order. And the universe is really telling us right now, rest, relax, replenish yourself right now. Take this quiet time, use it wisely, because it's not always going to be quiet. Things will get more active soon. So surrendering is the most effective way right now. The continual grounding of this third energy is also very exhausting. So if you're feeling exhausted, rest. Many people are also feeling physical symptoms, and that can just be transmutation of negative energies. It can take a very physical form. So like for me, I have problems with my wrist. I have carpal tunnel, and every once in a while it's act up. So for the past month, I'd say I've had a lot of problems with my wrists. And, just it hurts or it gives out. It's just, for me, I know that I'm somehow transmuting energy through that pain. So some of you might be experiencing that as well. So you really want to take this time to rest, because your state of mind is very important. And the hardest part of manifesting all this stuff is just doing all the clearing and then having the patience to just sit and wait for it. Just get ready to receive it. But like I said, many are already seeing these things begin to come into their life. New opportunities, hearing from people, getting into union. All kinds of great things are happening for you guys. So I'm so glad to hear that. So when you get a new opportunity, like I said, if a door opens, certainly walk through it. But you don't feel like you have to push and struggle for things right now. And if the opportunity doesn't come through, so let's say for some of you, you get a job interview and you're all excited and you think this is your dream job and you're so confident you're going to get it, and then you don't get it, and then you think, I must not be manifesting. You start having doubts, you start lacking faith, you start thinking that things aren't going your way, that you're doing something wrong. And what you're doing is you're falling back into your old patterns again. Those roots are taking hold of you again, and they're pulling you back down. Cut the root. See the old pattern. What you want to say to yourself in that case is, you just say, okay, I got myself one step closer to my dream job. I guess that job wasn't it, but I'm getting so much closer in what I truly want. and everything's always in perfect order. So even though that job wasn't the right fit, sometime soon, the right job with the right fit is going to show up for me. And that's how we surrender. That's how we keep our little field clear of the weeds and nourished and fertile and productive. We just let go. We don't let our ego step in and start telling us that everything's wrong and everything's falling apart. Trust in the perfect unfoldment of everything in every moment. The universe is always going to deliver to you what you need if you have faith. The clearing of doubts and surrender also allows us to be our authentic self. We feel protected and we have faith in ourselves, so we can in turn shine fully in our 10th house, which is Capricorn. This is our life path house and our public house. So because we've created a strong foundation in Cancer, we have the belief in ourselves, we have the faith and trust in the universe. That allows us to shine our full authentic self in our 10th house. And we have the full moon on July 8th, which is my birthday, in Capricorn coming up in a couple weeks. So that's why it's so important to have this strong foundation in our chart. Okay, let's talk about the cards. The goddess that's overseeing the full moon, not the full moon, the new moon in Cancer is Ostara, fertility. It's the perfect time for you to start new projects, access new ideas, and give birth to new conditions. So that's what we're doing. We're creating new conditions, new patternings for ourselves. And, here we have on the card a new moon. And Ostara is actually the goddess of springtime. She oversees the spring equinox. And what is she doing? She is throwing out seeds. So again, this is confirmation that we are still in the seeding process. And what Ostara wants us to do is stay clear and stay positive. It's our positivity that's going to allow us to manifest. She says you can paint a sunnier outlook within yourself, which will give rise to all sorts of new opportunities, since like attracts like. Feel more energized and powerful as you spruce up your inner and outer worlds. Remember, your inner and outer worlds are connected. How you feel inside is reflected in your outer world. Then capitalize on this increased vigor by starting a new project that really makes the heart sing with excitement. This card signifies pregnancy, child conception, adoption, or custody. Your desires will fully manifest in the springtime. There will be a resurrection of the old. Your new idea or venture will be successful. It's the opportune time for you to make life changes. Absolutely, at a new moon, very fertile time. Okay, I'm going to do my heart reading today because I haven't done the heart-shaped reading for a while. The overall energy of unions right now is the Three of Pentacles. Okay, the Three of Pentacles is about creating a foundation. And you see her tower there, her home. The masculine and feminine are working together to create the foundation of their unions right now that are being brought about through the current third energy and manifestation. And I think it's important to remember that you are working on it together despite any kind of appearance to the opposite. The message for union from the romance angels is make the effort. Great love is worth taking the steps you are guided to take. So very much going in the flow right now. Like I said, you don't have to push, but if you're guided to take a step, if you're guided to walk through a door, do it. Get in tune with your higher self so that you can hear the guidance that you're getting and be prepared. What is positively happening in unions right now? 10 of Pentacles. We're shedding the old. We're shedding those roots. This card is about home and family. It's clearing out those old family templates, breaking free from the past and breaking free from our patterns. The very patterns of our DNA. So, and I'm getting that it's not going to be, that it's going to be intense energy. People are going to be feeling tired and things, but think about what we're doing. Like I said, our very DNA is changing and releasing these patterns. That's why purification is necessary right now. I know many people are doing detoxes and things. I just did a detox for a few weeks, and that detox helped me a lot physically. I feel much better physically, and it helps with your mental state as well. So don't neglect your body through the process. Like I said, many of you might be dealing with physical ailments right now. So eat healthy, drinking lots of water, taking salt baths, all those things, they really do help. And then don't forget to call in the violet flame to clear out energies. Okay, what might be causing some issues in unions? 7 of Cups. So I feel there's some confusion happening right now. And the confusion really is about what is real and what is an illusion. Like I was speaking about earlier, many of you are still not in contact with your twins or haven't heard from your twins, some for years. And so it's hard to continue to have that faith and that confidence when you look around you and, you know, remember you're in that barren landscape and there's nothing there. What is an illusion and what is reality? Well, as you ascend, you begin to realize that the 3D is the illusion. But we do get continually tricked back into that old pattern of faith and doubt. But having faith is such a big part of the ascension process. If we don't have faith, I don't really see that as being a spiritual being. But so know that if you're having doubts and fears along the road the next couple weeks, that's just the current energy. The feminine energy, the divine feminine, what your focus is. And yes, I did draw these cards after I gave my report, after I did my channeling on what I saw on the chart. So there's a lot of confirmations in the cards about what I was saying. One of them is that we're clearing away these roots to the past. Doing a lot of work on the ancestral templates. Healing family issues. It's another way to look at it. So you may have issues come up within your family. And all these things are going to show you what needs to be cleared. So when we have the full moon in Capricorn, we can release some of this stuff. Now, in addition to the family templates here and the past or memories, this card is also saying rest. It's knowing when to fight and when to rest and taking a break from the battle. No need to push right now, like I said. If you're tired, rest. Because if you're not well rested, it's going to affect your state of mind, and that is, it's important right now. So take care of yourself. How the divine feminine is feeling about the divine masculine. 6 of Cups. This is memories of the past and past incarnations going back, our karma. So I think the divine feminine is going to be feeling very nostalgic towards the divine masculine and feeling love, remembering happy times. The sign of Cancer is very nostalgic because of what it rules. It's our traditions. Like I said, I'm a Cancer, and I would say Cancers never forget. A lot of times it's we don't forget hurts done by us, but just in general, Cancerians are very nostalgic and thinking about the past with fondness and past times, past eras, history, all those things. But yeah, this card also represents true love and a true love's return. It often comes up when we have true love return to us. What is the divine feminine's biggest hurdle right now? Ace of Swords. So the biggest hurdle for you guys is truth. Clarity. What is truth? Is it the 3D or is it your 5D or higher? Is it what your mind is telling you? Is it what your heart is telling you? Is it what is coming from inside you, your own knowing, or is it what other people are telling you? Are you letting your family influence you? Are you letting your friends influence you? It's important to be clear as well, because when we're manifesting, we want to be very strong in our conviction of what we want, because again, if we're oscillating between I want this, I want that, I want my twin flame, no, I want to give up on him, I want to go with a soulmate, no, I don't want that soulmate, I want my twin. If you're oscillating back and forth, then you're not sending a clear message to the universe, and it's hard to manifest that way. So truth and clarity is going to be big for you, divine feminine, and how to overcome this hurdle is the 7 of Swords. Okay, this is about illusions and the shadow and things not being as they appear. And one of the things is, and this comes up in every reading, the divine masculine. I'm sorry, but there's still a lot of divine masculine that are not in their truth, that are not showing their true faith, their true feelings. They're not yet at a place where they're comfortable being honest. They haven't cleared enough away to do that. And so that's where the challenge lies, again, for those divine masculine, divine feminine, that aren't having a lot of 3D confirmation and having to have that faith. On the other hand, look on the bright side. If you're one of those people that's not in touch with their twin flame and you're not getting that confirmation, Think about the foundation for your faith that you're creating, because your faith has to be so strong in order for you to keep walking this journey. Of course, we don't really have an opportunity. We don't have much opportunity to stop, but believe me, if that's your case, the faith and trust that you're building right now is really going to assist you down the line. So don't worry about that. So know that things aren't always as they appear. So it comes down to your knowing and your intuition and trusting in your intuition right now. The message from the Romance Angels for the Divine Feminine is free yourself. It's time to take back control of your life. Free yourself from your past, your burdens, your karma. All right, Divine Masculine. The first card for you guys is the Three of Wands. Well, you know, we had the Three of Pentacles. Now we have the Three of Wands. So threes is the Trinity. Threes is the third energy. We are manifesting with the third energy. It is making a solid foundation in 3D right now. And you, Divine Masculine, you know it. This is you and the Divine Feminine working together, working as a team, same as in this card, working as a team to bring your manifestation to fruition. And Masculine, you are kind of looking to the future right now. You are making plans that you will implement up ahead. There's a lot going on energetically right now for the Masculine. You guys are doing a lot of clearing and stuff. And so maybe you aren't taking those steps yet in solid reality, but it's coming and you have your eyes to it and you're planning it. Things are beginning to come to fruition and you are getting ready to take action when it's time, when you are shown that. How the Divine Masculine is feeling about the Divine Feminine. I actually have two cards here. Two cards came out. The Nine of Swords and Justice. So I feel they kind of go together. They kind of give us an explanation. So if we look at this, the Nine of Swords, you guys are feeling a lot of mixed emotions, pain, anxiety, doubt, fears. I feel you guys are very much the ones that are struggling with doubt. Not that all the feminines, we still have doubts too, but I feel like we can pick ourselves up quicker. Where the Divine Masculine, you are still in that learning process of dealing with the triggers and how to move past the triggers. So you're feeling a lot of doubt and anxiety, and that may be keeping you up at night. And part of why you're feeling that is because of this card, the Justice card, and you're thinking about justice being served, and what comes around goes around. And I think you're concerned about some of the things you've done, some of the things you've said to the Divine Feminine, hurtful things that you've done, or ways that you've rejected them, ways that you've rejected the connection. And I think as time goes on here, We know you guys are waking up. And as you do that, as you wake up more and you get clear and you're realizing that it's truth and you can't escape it and you can't run from it. And so what are the implications? You know, how is the divine feminine going to respond to you? So I think feeling a lot of guilt. And I think you're also feeling guilt about what's coming up ahead, you know, because here we know your focus is the future and the changes that you're going to make, because we're talking about wands, we're talking about expansion, we're talking about moving beyond your self-imposed limitations. Of course, that in itself brings up fears. But for some of you, it's going to be making a lot of changes in your life, you know, changing relationships or changing jobs, perhaps moving, all kinds of changing patterns. And, you know, wondering about that and will you be treated fairly? Will the universe treat you fairly? Will the divine feminine treat you fairly? Will the people in your life treat you fairly? It seems like you're dealing with a lot of fears and insecurities at this time, and your own doubts. The card that represents the biggest hurdle for the divine masculine is the Three of Cups. Again, threes. We have 3 threes in this reading, all representing the third energy, the Trinity, manifestation. That is what threes represent, the manifestation. So, and this isn't a place of negativity, because this is a really good card about, you know, having something to celebrate, having that manifestation come through. You know, often this represents the birth of a child and celebrating the birth of a child, but you have to look at it in its negative connotation because it's a hurdle for you. So you're not feeling happy. You're not feeling confident. You're not feeling like celebrating. Some of you might be drowning your sorrows with getting drunk or with taking drugs or some other form of escapism at this time. Not listening to your higher self, because to me this card always shows the connection between the masculine and feminine on either side, connected through the higher self. So you might not be listening to your higher self right now. And having, you know, lacking faith in what's ahead for you. You're needing to come to terms with things. You need to come to terms with your own faith right now. Perhaps you're having a hard time finding any joy in life too. You know, things are looking bleak for you at times, especially in regards to the divine feminine, and maybe wondering what the future holds with them. So not feeling like dancing for joy, really, right? But the message from Spirit is that is the best way forward, the best way manifesting is finding this joy. The way they're telling you to overcome that block is by the Innocence card or the Fool. And this is a new beginning. This is you taking a leap of faith and jumping into something new, jumping into a new way of being, jumping into the energy of expansion. Because you deserve more. You deserve to break free from your limitations as well. And I feel like for the divine feminine, the more that you break free of, the more you are forcing the divine masculine to break free as well. They can't, since you're connected energetically, they have to follow you. And many of the feminine are making great strides in that area right now, and they're really putting the pressure on the divine masculine. So yeah, you guys, the masculine, you're being called to take that leap of faith, jump into the unknown, do something new, take a chance, take a risk, find that childlike element of yourself, and have trust. And of course, you know, ultimately, that's what this card is about, the Fool. It's about having trust. You know, in the regular tarot, the Fool is jumping off the mountain, and it's representing having trust in God. In this deck, which is the Lover's Path Tarot, we add a new element because we see that Pamina is leading Tamino through the fog, through what is unclear, through the illusion, even though neither of them know where they're going. It's the unknown. We see the masculine there is blindfolded. So he really has no idea, and he's dependent on the feminine energy to lead him through right now. And so masculine, you're being called not just to have that faith in God, but have the faith in the divine feminine right now. And that she is leading you to your truth. You know, because remember, you guys are a team and you're working together. The message for the masculine from the romance angels is romantic feelings. Your feelings are real and worth exploring. So I think, you know, going back to this 9 of arrows, a lot of you masculine are having doubt about the connection still, maybe wondering if this is the right person for you and wondering if it's real. And I know you guys are having signs and synchronicities and stuff, but perhaps still not trusting. Okay, and so the message here is, you know, you can trust your feelings. You can trust your intuition. That your feelings are not an illusion. Going back to deciphering what's real and what is an illusion here. All right, the outcome card, or the card that's representing union energy, is contemplation, or the Hermit card. So this is what I was saying at the beginning. It's a time for the masculine and feminine to each work on their separate piece of the puzzle right now. Each one has a role and a responsibility. And for many of you, it means going it alone right now. And that's okay. You know, this card that we had at the beginning, the 3 of Pentacles, this represents as well, you know, working together, but each of you doing your own part. You know, traditionally we see the artisan and the architect and the patron all working together in a church. And it's the same thing here. You're working together as a team, but you each have your own role to focus on right now and to get clear on. And, you know, trust spirit that this is the best way to handle this energy right now, right? That's our surrendering. We trust. And this is going within. This is a sign that the truth is within us. That is reality. Because remember, what is without is just a reflection of what is within. So get the inside clear, and that's going to be reflected outwardly. But you need to go within, get in touch with yourself in order to make that your reality, in order to manifest it. And it's finding your belief in yourself as well, and finding that belief in spirit. This card represents spiritual awakenings. spiritual truth, seeking out spiritual truth. And ultimately, that leads us to faith. Now, from the romance angels, 2 cards fell out here. Deception. Someone's wearing a false self mask in this relationship, and you deserve love. You are lovable. Well, I feel like this one is meant for the divine feminine. This is the 3rd energy report in a row that this card has come up. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. Yep, and we know who that is, because everything is not as it appears. We have to trust right now. Trust our inner knowing, trusting in our truth. Something is an illusion. Someone is projecting an illusion, not their truth. For the masculine, I feel this one was meant for you. You deserve love. You are lovable. Even though you might be feeling very unlovable right now and feeling fears about being rejected, fears about self-worth, fears about whether you can take all this on, whether you're strong enough. You deserve it. You really do. You deserve everything. And you, most of all, you deserve love, and you're worthy of love. It's time for you guys to work on believing in yourselves that you're worthy of love. Because if you are one of the masculine that's still wearing that mask, we know that it's because you're not feeling worthy of yourself. Until you can see that you deserve love within yourself, it's going to be hard for you to be your full authentic self because of your inner fears of rejection. But go within, get clear, rest, time alone for both of you guys. All right, now lastly, I have a new deck, the Angels of Atlantis, and I drew some cards from them for my final cards. The card for the Divine Feminine is Raziel, Retreat. As I said, these cards, they come out like you can't make them more perfect. Raziel suggests you're pushing yourself too hard, and thus this all-seeing angel wants you to rest and retreat. The great temple of Abu Simbel was probably built around 1240 BC and was intended to amplify inner stillness for those who were drawn there. Being in retreat will allow you to feel your heart's desire, for love is the vibration that the angels are witness to, and it is the guidance of your loving heart that the angels will inform you of. This is the card of divine orientation, for Raziel stands on the left hand of God and administers many secrets directly to your soul. Chant he to feel the mysteries of Raziel move through your throat chakra. Okay, it's when we retreat, when we go in that stillness, is where the angels talk to us and where our heart can talk to us, and we can get into that inner message, the message of our higher self. And it's when we know when to rest and when to do battle. And right now is not the time to do battle. It's the time to retreat, regroup, take this time for yourself to focus on yourself while you can. The card for the Divine Masculine is from Uriel, Freedom. Sorry. Here it is. The drawing of this card illustrates that this oracle is asking you to free up your thinking and feeling, for you are the only jailer that may be keeping your consciousness prisoner. Every aspect of your consciousness is a choice, and if you have made an accurate choice, choose again. This is the meaning of the word mistake. It is what you missed, take again. See that? If it is what you missed, take again. This time, by liberating the conviction of your love for self, you will spring your soul from its prison. Ask Uriel to show you alternative choices. Because they resonate of pure love, they will also free you from your thought jail and take you to consequences you may have never dreamed of. Uriel wants you to chant he, and thence to release the feeling of being held back. The he will literally clear your mind. Place it in your forehead or vestigial third eye, the sixth chakra. Guidance is imminent, and once more you will dance with the infinite. You are the only prisoner of your life. And these swords, the 8 and 9 of swords, represent that. You're holding yourself prisoner. You're holding yourself back. And I talked about at the beginning of the reading how our guilt and our shame and our fears, how they all play into our lack of belief in ourselves and in the universe and our lack of faith, and they hold us back. The divine feminine is not holding anything against you. The divine feminine welcomes you with open arms. It's not the divine feminine that is keeping you in fear or holding you back. It's only yourself. Nor is it any karmic relationships or situations in your life that are holding you back. They have no control over you. And the more you awaken, the more you will realize that it's only yourself in any given moment that is preventing you from doing anything. Your own fears and doubts. So free yourself and see yourself as divine. All right, the energy of union. 2 cards came out. Again. Michael, the I am presence. No lie, guys, this is representing the violet flame energy. The violet flame is the I am presence. It's knowing that you are source creative energy. You are divine. The other one was from Gabriel, inspiration. So let's read Gabriel's first. Take a deep breath and visualize your breath force has a beautiful blue light filling you. Gabriel will guide you to connect with the flow of the universe, with God's breath. When flow occurs thus, Gabriel removes the tensions and holding points that have prevented you from creating love and joy in your life. Inspiration means to be influenced by the divine, and if you take several moments to enjoy Gabriel's breath as your breath, relaxation will abound and creative ideas will swiftly flow into your consciousness. Therefore, allow stillness to facilitate the flow. Pushing doesn't allow, it merely creates resistance. Chant Ra Amen 3 times for the channel of angelic inspiration to remain open, and yet protect yourself with golden light around your aura as you move through the business of life, thereby protecting your exquisite vulnerability of your soul's truth. No need to push. Sit back and receive and allow the inspiration to come to you. And I see all the blue on this card, and it's talking about the blue energy, which is the throat chakra. And Gabriel, I believe, is the word of God. So think about communication, how you're communicating, how you're bringing your energy forth, that I talked about earlier. and allowing yourself to relax, allowing yourself to flow. Lastly, Archangel Michael and the I Am Presence. This card reminds you that the throne of your spiritual sovereignty is awaiting you and that you have all the power of the Creator within you. When we discover our soul's purpose and allow ourselves to be initiated into the world as a spiritual seeker, we are often disregarded by others simply because the divine can be missing from other people's lives. Michael wishes you to sit on the throne of your true power and the universal wisdom of one mind, the I Am Presence. This is the moment when divine compassion moves through you and alerts you to the fact that what you see without is also within. Feel your throne has the seat of empathy and chant Ha through your base chakra to support this energy. Where's my card? Know your power. Stand in your power. Know your truth. Know that you are a co-creator of source energy. Use the violet flame to help you clear your energy, transmute karma, and to free yourself from any chains that are still binding you. Thanks so much, guys. Again, Twinstrology.com if you would like a reading. Love you all very much, and I will be talking to you soon about the Capricorn full moon on July 8th.